issue of mad or violent person. When he's admitted to the psychiatric ward, how do you admit him to the psychiatric ward? Should you grant him bail?
No, no, no.
Or should you take him in special custody?
You direct, you order that he
Are
should.
you not? Or you still? Yes. Okay, what you do as a magistrate, what you do actually is you give order. You have understood the situation of like this person before you. You are not the one to do the work. You give an order that he should be taken to a clinic, psychiatric clinic where he will be handled. And he should be only returned back to court when he regains his senses. And those who carry out the order will be there.
She has not finished.
And you see, he is going to be treated by doctors who are qualified to certify his provision. They will tell you, and he will not be brought back to court until when he is in a position to know what is going on. I would like to tell you, they do a very wonderful job. I have one of my children who was affected by insanity issue. One of the boys that respected me the most, I was in the house the day the issue came to him. He wanted to actually muzzle me, but I thank God I am still strong. I was able to get myself out of this capture. So the next thing I did, I sent him psychiatric clinic, and he's now okay. Back to the university reading his course.
The reason why I asked this question is because some just like they want to make it
No.
Now, if they do it, they didn't do the timing water is actually a lot. And for the report back to you. Yes.
My Lord, Honorable Chief Judge of the State, the Chairman of the session, members of the ITEC, and my fellow colleagues. Good day to you all. My Lord, with your permission, I'm Sani by name, presiding magistrate, Chief Magistrate Court 2. My Lord, before I proceed, we would like to extend our appreciation. Though what has been said yesterday at the opening ceremony. Now, quickly on the issue at hand, which is the while the speaker was making his presentation, I have carefully and meticulously observed many issues related to faith, which is regarded as sacrosanct, therefore inalienable. Now, it is obvious at this juncture to have identified key areas of which before a sitting magistrate can admit a defendant standing trial before him today. I had the privilege of coming across the case of Ajayi versus the state, where bail is always regarded as a discretion of the court. Likewise, in the case of Shuaibu versus the Republic of Nigeria, where bail is regarded, while admitting an offender to bail, should be judicially and judiciously. However, in the case of Shuaibu versus the Republic of Nigeria, while admitting a defendant to bail, court or the judge in question should consider certain conditions before admitting such person to bail. Otherwise, stringent conditions might be regarded as what? Refusing the bail, as the case may be. Now, bail has been admitted. Before granting same, we would like the presenter to elaborate more on the factors to be considered before admitting a defendant or applicant as a case may be to them. the conditions has been met, he has fulfilled the conditions. But down the line, he jumped the conditions. What the judge should do in this circumstance, he now jumped the bed. What are the steps to be taken by the sitting magistrate in case the applicant jumped them? The last question. We find it difficult sometimes when a magistrate or a judge is faced with an offender who is alleged to have committed an offense bordering societal issues, like issue of theft. Sometimes you may find yourself in dilemma where the court will be filled up with all and sundry, all centered on the court as to what next line of action the court will take in the event of exercising such right to them. Sometimes you might consider it as, but by reason of the safety, you may choose not to admit such person. But how do you correlate while exercising right to bail as well as safety of the defendants at the same time? Then, the last one, my lord, this issue of bail, sometimes it has become an issue of making a case to become, let's say, an end to the case. Because some lawyers or litigants might misuse the advantage of when they are admitted to them. Sometimes you find it difficult before you can get the defendant to court. I have undergone a case of this nature where the defendant before me were brought from Kaduna. Okay. So what do you do in such circumstances? Thank you.
I will quickly address the issues one after another. Initially, you said the issue of bail is discretionary. That is it. That is the law. It is the discretion of the court to grant an accused person bail who applies. But, like you rightly pointed, the discretion must be exercised judiciously and judiciously. The two go together. You exercise the discretion judiciously and judiciously. How you do it? You look at the circumstances of each case, looking at all the factors surrounding the case. Is it an issue which touches on the society? Whatever, you look at all angles before you decide to exercise the discretion. That was why, if you look at my paper, I mentioned simple offenses, which I said it was my view that the state magistrate should consider granting an accused person's bail on such terms and conditions that will ensure his attendance to his trial. Because the most important thing is for an accused person to be granted an opportunity to attend his trial, not to be set free. Now, on the issue of safety of the accused person or the court itself, I will tell you a story. I was a magistrate. There was an issue between PDP and APPZ. Shortly after the election of His Excellency, our first governor, Lima, I came back from mosque about 5:30. The then DP of Tulumada, I met him in front of my house. He said, "My lord, we have arrested Malamud and we are bringing him to your court. I brought the FIR to you." I said, "Well, where is the FIR?" I said, "Give it to you." I took the FIR, I said, "Let me get the pen." I went into my house, locked my door, got into my store, and then opened the door and said, "You come here." I said, "Who asked you to bring the FIR to me?" in my house. I said, who asked you to bring it to me? I said, I will not surrender this matter to you until you bring the accused person to court by 9 o'clock. I locked my window and left him. I now came to office as early as 8. I proceeded to the office of the chief registrar. Then it was the student I knew who was here. Unfortunately, I met him in the office about to take his breakfast. He put part on the cup. I was telling him blah 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 what happened to the cup. He left his hand on one of the table. All the papers were on my stage. He now told me, you are watching honestly chicken I am Musa. I now said, sir, I am to decide the matter. I brought information to you. What will I say? He said, let us go to the Honorable Chief Judge. It was then his Lordship, Justice Lord. We met him. As we explained, the CR explained to him. He now looked at me on the paper and said, Mokhtar, what do you want me to do? You have been deciding these matters. Please, go get out of my office, go and do what you are supposed to do. We were about to get to out of my SK. I said, my Lord, I have one thing to say. I said, the issue of taking the accused person to bail, granting him to prison, granting to bail, these are issues which you have taught us, and we are fully informed. Why I come to the CR is that I will find no difficulty in either taking him to prison or leaving him out of bail. All I'm after is my security. What is my own security? Because in those days, there was an issue where, because of the Sharia issue, if you do whatever, you will be attacked as your family. Now, the city now said, okay, what we do with around the car, just write the transfer the matter to the Sharia Court of Appeal. They brought this issue, blah, blah. I said, thank you, sir. I reached the road, he said, the car number. When they cannot even write this, the people that are never book. So, what about this issue is that you have to use your assets in your issue. Consider the situation where you think that it's need for you to report to the authority. For help, go to whoever the most immediate person for you is your chief registrar. Report to him where you feel that is a case where if you exercise your discretion either way, you will not be free. Then you will get an advice. I believe if you cannot handle the issue, like the one my Lord Donald alluded to me, he will lead you to the chief judge, where I believe you will get a solution to the problem. Thereby, taking the issue of security, either of yourself or whatever. I think, I don't know, where an accused person jump in. The procedure is very simple. You adopt two things. You now issue out order for summonses to be issued to the sureties of the accused person to come and show us why they should not complete their bond. They sign a bond before you. Now you now issue an arrest warrant for the arrest of the accused person to be compared to your court to come and show us why he should not complete his bail. Remember, there are two differences. In the sum of the sureties, you issue out summonses. In the letter of the accused person, you issue out order of arrest for him to be arrested and be compared to come to your court. Not to be taken to prison immediately, but to show cause why he should not complete the bail.
Well, it's on this issue of bail that His Lordship has said the magistrate went out that the court is to exercise its discretion judiciously and when it comes to issue of bail. But in exercising that discretion, you have to take into consideration the seriousness of the offense charged, the rampancy of the offense in the society, and the evidence, if any, that is before the court. These are the major considerations when you come to the issue of bail.
before exercising your discretion. And in exercising your discretion, don't wait for anybody to give you directives on what to do. In my own case, you can bear me witness, I have never given any court directives on whether to release an accused person on bail or to detain. It is your discretion, like I have said, but you must exercise your discretion judiciously and judicially, taking into consideration the circumstances of each case. Each case is to be decided on its own circumstances, the facts and the evidence before the court. And the example his lordship has given when an FIR was taken to his house, if I were him, I would not even entertain them. I would ask them to go back and take the accused person and the FIR to court, because my house is not a court of law.
I want to further comment on His Worship Justice Aminu Sani spoke about the safety. I want to talk about the safety of the accused person. There are plethora of authorities that say that you can deny bail for the safety of an accused person. If the trial magistrate is convinced that the safety of an accused person will be in jeopardy when he is released on bail, you deny bail. Otherwise, you have a discretion. Under those circumstances, you are doing for the safety of the accused person. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Okay, bashi na mai zaki. Ita ce. Wani da maka samu ta. Ai ba su ba zuwa shi. Annabi sun shigo. Sai da communicate da su. Sai da communicate da su. Tsakiya.
After the information was ready for him to take his plea, he pleaded guilty to the allegation. Then the prosecution applied that since the defendant pleaded guilty to the allegation, they don't have any option and the court will try to somewhere. Then you ask the defendant and issue post why she should be convicted, no constitution. Then you deliver your ruling and you convicted, but you do not sentence him at the right time. You adjourn the case and another date for the court to sentence him. On the next adjourned date, after the case was called, then the convict explained that the court did not give any opportunity to say anything. So in this situation, what will you do? That's my question.
Okay, any other question?
Two more questions.
Please, two more questions. After this one, we'll take one more. I really still have that deciding on this particular number. My question is on the issue of right to an interviewer in a criminal proceeding, where this person is, for example, is trying to go to court, and he insisted that he did not understand the language used by the court. Instead, he mentioned that he understands the language that is very difficult for the court to get an interpreter. For example, he said he understood Swahili language. And at the same time, this accused person from his records, it showed that he was born in Sokoto, he attended primary school in Sokoto, secondary school in Sokoto, and university in Sokoto State. Yes, education. Can the court look at the circumstances of this person to presume that he wants to understand the language used in the current environment for one, or the court that someone who have full knowledge of him to testify that understand many of language. Secondly, the Constitution says it is mandatory to provide an interpreter to the accused person or defendant, standing the right before the courts. So where the interpreter who understood the language used by the court and the language understood by the accused person is staying, let's say, in the southeast or abroad. Now, who will bear the cost of bringing the interpreter to the court to form an interpreter for language used by the court in the understanding of the accused person? The last question is
thank you, Madam. All protocol fully observed. My name is Nuruddin S. Banawa, senior civilian. The question, Madam, is of fair hearing. As provided by Section 36 of the 99 Constitutional Amendment, on the issue of ruling on penal application, where both the accused person, his counsel, and the prosecution agrees on the ruling in chambers, and the judge deliver the ruling in chambers. That amount to breach of fair hearing as provided by Section 36 of the Constitution. Thanks for the question.
I will start with one last question. Clearly, that is breach of the Constitution. The law says the trial must be conducted in public. And I think you can take a hint from what my lord has said, that he told people on attachment about the position of the law and they saw something different. And they acted, and his own reaction thereafter. But clearly, the law is that it has to be conducted in public, and you should know that it is a constitutional provision. We had all at one time or another been guilty of that. But the law is clear that it has to be conducted in public. No amount of excuse will suffice. Then, the issue of interpreter. The law says that it is the duty of the court to provide an interpreter for the accused person, and that is his right. And I think Section 3611, if I'm not wrong, is the section that says that. But the court will have to do what is humanly possible. If, for example, somebody alleges that he can only understand a language where you cannot get a person who speaks that language, and maybe falsely, like his worship has been pointed, that there is evidence that he did his whatever or whatever, how did the court knows about that at the time that this person comes before it? It is not an issue which will be known to the court at that time. And if it is the prosecution that brought that information or whatever, then, in my view, there should be evidence that he can understand that language. Otherwise, the issue of providing that interpreter to him must be given unless it were not possible. And the issue of somebody staying in the south of Africa is a simple matter. At least in this country, I think is wide enough that you can get residents almost everywhere. If you want a person speaking in Igbo language, so you can have that person almost all the whatever. All that needs to be done, in my view, is that the court will try its best to give, but it cannot give something which is not possible. The trial court will investigate, find out, says it's the duty of the court to provide an interpreter, and see what it can do in the circumstance. This is my view.
Assalamu alaikum. My brother will be cited as modern by other teachers. I want to make sure that there was frequent application that comes before our courts. I have had a discussion in my address as Mama in my lecture during graduate and university days. About the conditions. These conditions that sometimes people refer to as future conditions. I see them as just a subjective view. Why I say this is because we know that there is just a temporary liberty granted to an accused person to every be attending his trial. It's not an automatic discharge. So the essence of there is not to provide a ground that the accused should escape his trial. And the condition that we find ourselves in is that is where some areas, for instance, in my local government, Zurich, I believe, apart from Zurich, Morin, and Goa, there is no any district that a baby can get access. So, in stating that the district head, or village head, or even the non-community or religious leader to be one of the sureties, to be honest, is not the intention of the court to make the condition unfulfilled, but rather to make sure that the accused should not use the opportunity of getting the bail to escape from justice without attending to his trial. Let us all pray when the insecurity is over, then any person can come, provided he is respectable and responsible to be shot. So, Madam, the stringent conditions that are not, it depends. Any person who gets to fulfill a condition of the bail, you can call that condition as a stringent condition, even though it is not. Thank you.
That reminds me that I did not address where is the question of exhaustion agreement on this issue. But thank God I have been saved by my elder brother. Just before we round it off, I have my last question prepared by the show of honorable seating. That is 4 remarks, I don't believe of my Lord. The right of an one time.
Hold on. Ba.
Oh, it is a bar. Yes, you have what do you have from you?
Yes, I know you must have questions. Go comment, go observation.
I have a financial observation. Since when I was up to the time, I had instances where an interpreter wrongly let me interpret. Where an interpreter will correctly interpret what is going on during trial. Sometimes our interpreters even misinterpret. I can really recall when I was a travel prosecutor. The judge then has to seek for my intervention to interpret. Because with all due respect to the class there, they have no capacity to interpret what is going on. So this is my observation. And with this, I want to recommend that let the Zamfara State Judiciary look for the possibility of either recruiting competent interpreters or having a way of training the staff we are hiring on the way they interpret in a better way. Thank you very much.
Good morning, my lords. My one is on observation from the police to the magistrates. It has been the habit of the police officers arresting so many people and accusing them of different offenses do bring them before the court of law and apply them to be taken under the custody. Sometimes after being taken back to the session, deal with them, you will never return them back before the court. And this has been the elite. In fact, there was a time we do stand to challenge. We didn't want to be pushed out for this to sit together with him. The police officer want to run. After conduct, they have come to the states just to make the place where they need this. They have arrested so many people. Sometimes you just get to why the guys were there. Looking at just the bits of the latest, you'll just make an arrest. You put either mandatory, improvement, and so many other offenses. And you brought the man to court and say they are under investigation. The investigation is going on. And you request the magistrate to take the man into their custody. And you will never bring him back. You will again and again. Because sometimes if there is a case reported, you do tell them either withdraw their service of their answer or in charge. They be the one intended to charge for them. You will be charged. So I want my Lord to consider as a level of this society.
All protocols observed. I want to make comments in areas where I heard my Lord, the Chief Judge, saying the most important consideration while considering the issue of bail is the seriousness of the offense, the circumstances, the evidence. Now, we have from experience, we have noticed that in most cases, especially during the political era, bills are being denied on the ground that the governor is interested. The governor is interested in this case. So what I'm saying is that should not be a ground for the refusal of bail. Even because the circumstances of the bail, of granting bail were asked. You don't have to be swayed by the fact that you are that the governor is interested in the case, or also India is interested in the case. So I think that we have to have that at the back of our minds that is not a ground for the exercise of our judicial powers. Again, from experience also, at times when bail is granted, it will be said that the village head or the district head or a civil servant must be the sureties. But that is giving the granted bail and taking it another way, because those civil servants, especially when it involves political issues, those civil servants will come to stand for the accused person that the government is interested in having him detained in custody. So when you say a civil servant does come, and when you say a district head, I have during Sheila's time, I got bail of my client and 2 district heads, because it was a condition that the district heads would be the sureties. The 2 district heads that came to stand for the bail, they were removed. So if you are given that condition, that social privilege law is, I know you can maybe infringing on the rights, giving the right and taking the right away. That is my own understanding, and I think we have to do something about it. I think the best way to go about this, they know that you have a father or a senior brother or a family, a responsible family. They should be given to that person instead of saying a district head or a civil servant.
That is a discipline.
Yes, my lord. That is my own observation.
Yes. Okay, after.
My name is Barista. So mine is just a kind of contribution in respect of looking at circumstances while renting. I have a very good example, which is not to everyone else here. That the case of a bride in town, where counsel that was engaged to handle the matter of his behalf. They called me and said, "You are Alarama, you have to go to Sharia, but you are familiar with this. Come and defend our brother." I said, "No, I can't risk my life in this case." So, only to see my life here on the satellite, I tried to graphic. I'm telling you, while I was sitting beside Madam Kanuma and look at his solution, he said the offenses are ordinarily bailable because they are not more than 2 years. But I was just sitting there. I'm telling you, Madam Kanuma, I'm telling you, it was in my presence after the accused person were sent to prison. Satellite had to be strong before he could get himself out of the court. Therefore, not only for judges, even with the lawyers, we have to look at the situation and circumstances. And secondly, in respect of the political cases, I was one time the present ABC assistant state advisor, I was one time the state legal advisor. So I've been experiencing this type of cases, more especially that of Malay Development and that of Primary Kilawoga. I'm telling you, even by the time the judge granted the bail, he puts stringent conditions that he has to produce a certain permanent secretary, 2 certain permanent secretaries, and 2 district heads. I'm telling you, one of the district heads who stand as casualty in the night we heard that she was removed. There was an announcement that so person has been removed from his office. We have to find it difficult if we have to do this commission. In fact, we have to engage the services of this, what we call it, New Nigeria. We write a petition, we get 500,000 to print the petition in the newspaper, clearly stating what is happening. That is when we are able to get this. Therefore, honestly, it's a president. Now, because there are politics in gratitude. So,
you want something to say? Okay, give me. We are running out of time. You want to go and pray and come back for the second paper. They are around? They are, time, it's time.
Assalamu alaikum. I have 2 things to say. One is as a comment. The other one, I would have loved to clear this representation made by Sorajo Garba. The reality was that I used to be the counsel to Honorable Ibrahim Tanku all along. When he asked me to represent in court, I didn't have the clear and accurate information of a fact at that time. When I discovered the nature of the case, I disengaged. I think Alarama should have informed the audience of this. I disengaged. When I discovered the nature of the problem, I disengaged officially. I never defended him in that court. That is the reality of the situation. Then, secondly, I want to commend the organizers of this program. I am sure at the end of the seminar, a lot of targets will be enriched and get abreast with the vicissitudes of their job. And one more thing I want to add, issue of guidance. As a magistrate, your duty is not limited to determining the rights and obligations of the parties. You also have the duty to guide the counsel to ensure substantial justice in the disposition of your cases. In 2009, when I was a state counsel in the Ministry of Justice,
Yes. In 2009, when I was in the Ministry of Justice, my Lord Honorable Nasser Gumi of High Court 2 then, as far as I'm concerned, was my favorite judge because he guides, he listens, and he guides younger lawyers. Let me cite an example. There was a time I called a witness to establish the fact that there was a case of culpable homicide against her. I was at Etukunya myself. I was there twice to interview the witnesses. One of the key witnesses, the leading witness I invited, he testified that when the fight erupted between the deceased and the accused person, he was the one that took the victim, the deceased, on his bike to his house. At that point, the deceased died. Incidentally, but this my friend, Salahuddin, was the defense counsel. So he asked the witness, what did you do at your home with the deceased? He said, we brought water, we poured water to revive him. He said, okay, let me put it to you that it was the water that you put on him, on his head, that went through his nose. That was the reason he died. The witness said, yes, it was the reason why he died. My Lord, Justice Nasser said, witness, come, was it the water that resulted in his death, or the injury as a result of the fight? He says it was because of the water. Salam said, as God pleases. As God pleases. I thought the witness has said it was as a result of the water. Justice Nasser had to speak in Hausa to the witness. He said, Malam, ya ce kai ne wanda kuka yayyafa mai su ne suka shiga hanci ne ya mutu, ya ce haka ne, ya ce baka gane ba, ya ce ka gane, ce na gane, ya ce ka nasu, ya ce na nasu, ya ce dibanni da kyau. It's my Lord that was speaking to the witness. An ce wanda ka zuba mai ne suka shiga cikin hanci ne ba kullum da wancan ya mai ba, sai ce kullum da wancan ya mai. So that was how the situation was left. So you can see the extent of diligence a judge is expected to exhibit in dealing with a case. And that's my case. Thank you so very much.
I just want to react to what you have just said. In as much as a court wants to see that justice is done in a particular case, you cannot step into the arena of prosecution. Once somebody asks a question, the witness gives an answer, you record what he said. You cannot continue to ask questions, is that what you mean, is that what you mean? It means you are taking into the arena of prosecution. That is not your responsibility. The responsibility of the court is to do justice, to decide each case based on the evidence that is at least before them. Yes, this issue of the police, you know, making accused persons who think that they will now request the court to, give them an accused person. Is it for further investigation or what? That's what they normally do. That's what they normally do. They will ask for the accused person to be released to them for further investigation. In such circumstances, what I would advise the magistrate to do is to give them a certain period. Okay, I will release this accused person to you. You must make sure you bring him after 2 days or 3 days or 4 days.